All right, the big prized free agents aren't making moves yet, but some of our old free agents, some guys that we could bring back, we're starting to bring back, and guys with like restricted free agents and those types of things. So the Lions make another move at running back that I find kind of interesting because we know we've got our two main running backs, but then also it's like, okay, who else could be in play for that third running back? And we thankfully didn't really see a lot of the third running back just because our two were generally healthy almost throughout the entire year. So the first signing that we made was a few weeks ago when we signed Jake Funk to a futures deal. Now, just a quick thing on him. Again, this is a futures deal. He was on practice squads the last couple of years, but he has game experience with the Colts, and then he played with the Rams as well. So here's the thing about him. He went to Maryland. He's been in the league now I think it's 2 or 3 years. And again, this is a guy that we can just kind of watch for as training camp begins for that third string running back position. He's 5'10", 205, so a thicker back, but still has the speed. And that's what's kind of kept him in the league. So he's going to be on the practice, or was on the practice squad to end the season for the Lions because he was with the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens picked up a veteran running back. I can't think of who it was, Delvin Cook, and they cut him. We picked him right up. So again, is this guy going to be our starting running back? No, but it's worth noting. Then, and by the way, I'll get to something in just a second that's like so encouraging that Brad Holmes is doing. So don't let me forget about that. Okay. Then we sign Zac Knight. Now, this was the guy that we signed last year when Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery were injured. Remember, David Montgomery was supposed to miss like quite a few weeks there in the middle of the season. He ends up missing only, I think, like 3. But during that time, Jahmyr Gibbs really hadn't come on quite yet. David Montgomery was injured. It was like, oh my gosh. So we go to Zac Knight, and here's why we re-signed him. Remember, I know exactly the play. He put his shoulder down and just got crushed and hurt his shoulder, and he was out for the season. But in 2022, so not this past year, but the year before that, he really flashed some stuff with the New York Jets. He had 4 starts for the Jets. 300 yards on 85 carries, and another 100 yards receiving. So in 4 starts, he had 400 yards from scrimmage. He can kick return. I think that's the big key with him. He's a kick returner and running back. So we've used Craig Reynolds, and here it is right here. With Knight under contract, the Lions now have 5 backs signed to start in training camp, right? So because I say start in training camp just because they're not going to make the team, but now you can kind of see who we have. So Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, we know that's set. Then we know for sure there's going to be one more. Is Jefferson still hanging on there, waiting for him? I mean, he's been injured. He was a draft pick by Brad Holmes, I think, in 2021 in the 7th round. There's Jake Funk and Zac Knight. Really like this. But they also have Craig Reynolds. So Craig Reynolds, I've always been lower on Craig Reynolds than most people. I just think his story is really cool, but him himself, is he that great? I know, and of course he comes in the Buccaneers game, makes that great block, and every time he's in, he like does something good. Scores a touchdown in the playoff game or whatever, or in the playoff game. So what do I know? He's good. So, but the point is, there's some different options here at running back. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Now, next thing. Just a thing to note, the NFL or NFL Network, I don't know who does it. They do top 100 NFL players, right? So PFF changed it up a little bit. They did top 101. 8 Detroit Lions players are in the top 101 in PFF's ranking, but still 4 in the top 25. Now, here's the interesting part about this. It's just like, what in the world? I remember just back in the Patricia era, because I think that's not when the top 100 thing started, but it was when I kind of remembered like, oh yeah, what we got? Because I think it might have been right in the Patricia area when that countdown did start, and guys would, they make a show about it and they talk about players. And we had like Stafford, that's it, like I don't know the number, but it was like it's 70. It's just like, oh my gosh. We have one player in the top 100. Now we have 8. What a difference. And so Brad Holmes is able to find and get talent. And it's just like, jeez, unbelievable. Panay Sewell, just like guys that are just absolute stars. Rookies, Brian Branch, number 84. Brian Branch is just my favorite. He might be my favorite. Let me know in the comments, who is your favorite rookie of last year? We had so many. Now that kind of the dust is settled and you've been able to watch, and is it Jack Campbell, Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta? Gosh, Sam Laporta. It's like Branch, Sam Laporta, Jameer Gibbs for me. I don't know. That's a tough question. Rank your rookies in the comments. Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, Jameer Gibbs. That's just how I'm going to have to go with it. But I love Brian Branch. I just love the way that he's just a good football player. Like straight up, he just has a knack for the game. And I love how well he can tackle. Every time he gets his hand on you, it's just like he just brings him down. You don't see that anymore. It's just like hard to tackle. You got Sam Laporta, the other rookie that's going to be on the list. Panay Sewell's on the list. We know that our guy. Maybe they're not even going to. I thought they broke it down here. Anyway, the ones that are going to be on the list. St. Brown, Goff's probably going to be on there too, right? Okay, so here are the free agents that could interest the Lions. Kendall Fuller. I would take any veteran corner at this point. Anybody, any veteran corner, I'm in with it. We're going to need an interior offensive lineman, defensive tackle. There are guys out there we are not going to spend on that first wave. Like we literally don't even bother looking. Let that first wave of big money go. Then from there, the Lions will make moves. Now, because last year they went big money on Cam Sutton. And that's just an example of how it doesn't work. The big money doesn't work. Cam Sutton's a perfect example. The guy should work, but he didn't. And it's so disappointing. Now he's a starting corner. Cam Sutton is a starting corner. I know everyone's like mad at him. In the first half of the year, he was an outstanding corner. And then next thing I know, he's just getting train wrecked every time I look out there. Every time I look out there, he looks like small and just frail, and he's just getting killed. It's like, what? How did that happen? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Rank your rookies in the comments. Ooh, that's an impossible question, but your favorite. Because you even got Jack Campbell, which I think Jack Campbell is going to be really good next year. I think it's a tough position. He's a good, smart player, and I think he's really, of all those guys, has the most area to improve as well. So I think he's going to really break out next year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.